Welcome to Don't Whistle at Night podcast, where Navajo legends echo in the shadows. Darren and Dawn will guide you through the sacred fire of Native storytelling, where the old stories breathe, the unknown walks among us, and voices, long hidden, rise to be heard. And remember, don't whistle at night.
The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's stop this conversation. Stop this conversation. We got no relation. I have come, it's cold and losing my control.
We go. I have to add myself to the stage. There you go, everybody. Hello, welcome to the show Into the Night with me, your host, Sean Kelly. This is the Tuesday night edition. I want to thank you, PRN Talk Radio, 105.3 Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans, and Vecro. Good to see you. Thank you for everybody out there listening in the 160 60 countries, that who are watching my show tonight. Hey, Heidi, good to see you. Much love to you too. I also want to say that right after my show is the Gateway Podcast, and that is with my dear friend C.L. Thomas. And she has two guests tonight that I think everybody will be totally interested in. Now I'm gonna screw this name up, but I call him Drac. She's gonna get mad when I say that. But her guest tonight is Drac Stoker. Now I don't know if there's any relation to that person or not. I'm not sure. And Nora Ventilla. And from what I saw on her, on her advertisement, it seems like it's going to be very, very interesting. But before we get into the show, I'm going to be totally honest with you. So I tried to find some more nursery rhymes that had some dark meanings too. And Heidi says, I didn't know how to pronounce his name either. I believe it's Stoker's nephew. Okay, thank you, dear. Thank you. Yes, thank you. I think it is his nephew. But no, see, I was going to kick my butt when I say that. Sherry Maddie, good evening, Sean. Hope you're doing good. You're looking good, all cleaned up. Why, thank you, Miss Sherry. Yes, the ho, ho, ho season's done with. No more Santa Claus for a couple months. But no, so I was looking for some more, dark nursery rhymes. And I only could find three more, No matter how I looked and researched and looked on Google, the whole 9 yards, I only found three. And, but we'll go with those three, and then we'll talk a little bit about the Sunday night show. Patrick's doing okay. He's coming home on Thursday. Thank you for asking, Joni. Um, thank you for keeping him in your prayers. He's doing okay. Thank you all for the prayers and the healing energies to my brother. I truly appreciate it. So, of course, typical Pittsburgh weather today, it was in the 50s. And last week we were in the teens and the 20s. Oh my God, the weather just changes so much. But before we get into this, to these nursery rhymes and stuff, thank you, Robert Consuelo. That's right, he's my best friend. I grew up with him. He's like my brother, Robbie there. But it's good to see that you popped in, dude. Appreciate it. We got to hook up for coffee one day. But I want to say, before we get into these rhymes, I have a little bit of rant that I want to do. Okay. So Sunday night, the Pittsburgh Steelers played the Baltimore Ravens. Okay. They are the biggest. Oh, what the hell is it? A lot of fluid in his body. He gained like 40 pounds in 2 nights, 2 days. And so we took him to the hospital, and he has a lot of fluids. And so that's what they're doing, they're draining him out of the fluids. But back to Sunday night football game between the Steelers and the Ravens. So it's down to the last 2 seconds, and the field goal kicker for the Baltimore Ravens missed the field goal. And that, if he would have made it, the Ravens would have been in the playoffs. But he missed. Okay. Now, I believe in angels. I really do. And if you look at that little video, you can find it on YouTube or wherever. When he kicked that ball, it was like something, not the wind, but something just pushed that ball away from the goalpost. Yes, really. And I believe they're calling it the Immaculate Kick or something. I forget what it is. But here's the crazy part about that. Before the game, there was a priest that went around and blessed the end zone. No lie, really did. But what I'm trying to get at is after that kick happened, I like to go and listen to all the, hey, Delilah, good to see you. And I heard all these nasty comments from people who were from Baltimore. When I find you, I am going to punch you in the face. How could you miss this? F this, F that, F you. And they're talking to a kicker who's a rookie. Okay. And that really, really got me angry. It really did. How people could be ignorant to say something to a young kid. I think, what? Hello, what, Claus Starlight? Thank you for popping in. But how in the hell can you go around to a rookie, he might be 23 years old, who knows how old he is, and call him because he missed a field goal? Sure, it would have gotten the Ravens into the playoffs. Yeah. And they just rant, and they were just so nasty to him. Nasty. Are you live for views? Yeah, I'm live. Yes, absolutely. If you'd like to share the show, go ahead, please. And they were just downright fucking ignorant. Ignorant to this poor kid. And I'm just sitting back and I'm listening to this. Hey, Gary, good to see you, buddy. And I'm listening to all these Baltimore Raven fans ripping on this poor little kid. The biggest game of his life, the biggest kick in the world for him and for the team and for the city of Baltimore. And it goes wide right. Yes, I subscribe to you. Don't worry. Keep working hard. Thank you. Thank you very much, Claus. And so he missed the ball. He missed the field goal and went wide right. And like I said, I believe in angels, and I believe something came and picked that ball up and made it go to the right. But you don't do that to a person. His fiance's life are threatened because of that miss. That, I'm, it's because they are Baltimoreans. Uh, the ones that were talking on TikTok and all that shit last night, and Joni says, I recall Steeler fans were mean to someone on the team. They threw garbage in his yard. Yeah, I remember that. But what makes people to act like that? What makes people? How old am I? I don't know, 63. That's how old I am. Hmm. How old are you, Claus? And what makes people act like that over a damn football game? Granted, now Pittsburgh goes into Cleveland. The fans, they go in, there's 13. Um, it just, I like what you said. Heidi said, assholeism. Yeah, it is. It's just not worth it. So I'll tell you how great Pittsburgh Steeler fans are. My girl Cialan. Ah, okay. Hey, Cial, I screwed that guy's name up again. But probably they were betting on the game. Yeah, that's possible. Hey, Michelle, good to see you. But still, Joni, you don't just do that. You just don't go. And what's crazy is they weren't no young punks. They were in their 40s, 30s, and 40s doing shit like that. So I'll tell you how good Pittsburgh Steeler fans are. One guy felt so bad for him for missing the field goal, and they started a donation for John Hopkins University Hospital. And so far, they have collected $6,000. Gary says it's their upbringing. Blame it on their environment and parents. Nah, that's okay, Claus. Just by you being here. There are all kinds of people out there. That's true, Heidi. But here in Pittsburgh, we set up. I can't put the name. If you want to, Johnny says I agree. No reason for any of that craziness. But we collected $6,000 in the name of, I think his name is Tyler Loop, and we donated $6,000 so far to John Hopkins Hospital. Yes. And I think that just shows you how Pittsburgh people are for other people. People might hate us because we're Pittsburgh Steelers fans, and everybody hates the Pittsburgh Steelers. I always get bullied. How can I make friends? I really wish you could. I wish I could answer that. Anybody in the chat room, please, could you answer? Can you help out Claus tonight? I'd appreciate it. Thank you. But I don't know. I think Pittsburgh people are good. I think Pittsburgh Steelers people are good too. You know, Michelle said that Steel Town, baby. It used to be when we had United States Steel. That's the truth, Michelle. Heidi says my sister and her late husband, but her last husband, loved the Steelers. See, there you go. We're good people here in Pittsburgh. Even if the even if the Steelers would lose, the first thing out of everybody's mouth would be fire Mike Tomlin. That would be it. But they wouldn't go threatening him, you know. So to all the people that really, really gave that dude a hard time, you're full of shit. Every one of you are full of crap. Maybe look in the mirror. Okay. Hey, Kevin, good to see you. Good night there, Claus. Um, so that's my rant for today. How people can be freaking ignorant, and you don't need to be, especially over a damn football game. You know, Joni said they probably have money on it. That is true, but that still gives you no reason to threaten a kid, and that's all he is a kid, and his wife or his girlfriend or fiance. You don't do that. To me, those 30, 40-year-olders are childish for doing that. Don't people realize, okay, don't people realize if they put themselves in that person's shoes? Mhm. Heidi says many unhealed people that should probably consider raising their vibe. That's that in Baltimore. That will be tough, Heidi. Joni says I like the Steelers too. I miss Eaton Park. You know, I miss Eaton Park. I go to Eaton Park almost once or twice a week. I love it. But maybe we can all grow up and enjoy the playoffs. Who cares who wins? There's always next year. But wake up, smell the burnt toast, look at yourself in the mirror, and say, boy, I love myself. And I guarantee it, you couldn't do it. I guarantee it, you couldn't. That's my rant. Okay, that's my rant. So who knows who's going to win the Super Bowl this year? Who knows what they're going to do in this, in the playoffs? I know the Steelers play Monday night against the Texans. I know the Kansas City Chiefs are out of them, and people are laughing. People are laughing at them because they didn't make the playoffs. So what? Hey, people are crazy. But I'm going to stop talking about this. The TV movie in 1979 called Steel Town. Part of it was filmed in Portland, Oregon. Oh, really? But we're going to go on our break. And when I come back, we're going to talk about, some of these dark histories. I love you, man. That's funny, Heidi. Red Kingdom and the Swifties are out. That's funny. I'm not gonna. That's for another show. That's for the chat on Saturday nights. Kevin says the only thing I like about football is the halftime show. Like sports, not at all. Okay. Donkeys are crossing their fingers. That's funny. When Heidi said the donkeys, she's talking about the Denver Broncos, is what she's talking about. So, okay, we're going to go to break. When I come back, we're going to talk about the three dark, the chat, um, the nursery rhymes. And that's all I could find was three of them. So I'll see you in a couple minutes, and go to the bathroom, do what you got to do, and I will see you in about 2 minutes.
I had had enough.
Well, you drove out there into the middle of nowhere and had some sort of loud verbal display challenging ET in general out in the middle of nowhere?
That's what I was doing. I actually had a pistol in my hand at the time. I was really ticked off. When I was having this fit, I was waving the gun in the air, okay, and I had this fit. And at this moment, I said, okay.
He was a Louisiana man named Montaldo. Folks around called him Six Gun Joe. Worked with ICAR, don't you know? Investigating UFOs. Out for a drive with a gal one night, they stopped to check out the reporting site. When an alien lit right there on the ground, he commenced to throwing his weight around. Now, old Six Gun didn't take too kindly to that kind of thing, especially without Vaseline or anything like that, Seriously. Well, Six Gun looked that critter right in the eye and said, "Any last wish before you die?" Yo, reached for his gun, quick as a twitch, and said, "Fill your claw, you son of a bitch." Now a legend spread across the land about this pistol-waving man. But if you're from space or from Earth below, you don't give no lip to Six Gun Joe.
Welcome to Paranormal Heart Podcast with host Kat Ward.
Welcome to Negotiating Happiness, the show that helps you find happiness, success, and balance in your work and life. I'm Adriana Fierster, your host for this journey into entrepreneurship and personal growth. We're broadcasting live on 107.7 and 105.3 FM in New Orleans as part of the United Public Radio Network. We explore the latest strategies, insights, and stories from successful entrepreneurs and experts. From managing stress to building a thriving business, we've got you covered.
Hey, hello everybody, and welcome back to the second part of Into the Night with me, your host, Sean Kelly. I hope everybody's doing that. The Steeler that was shooting a helicopter, Matthew Rudy. Hey, Matthew, good to see you, son. Good to see you. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Vet. Thank you, Heidi. And so a couple announcements that I'd like to make. First one is if anybody has a business or wants to advertise on my show, please send me a message, and we'll get your business or your whatever you want to advertise at monthly. Okay, so if you can, if you want to, I'm not pushing you, but I'm just saying if you want to, okay. Please, give me a message and we'll figure it out. It's a good way of expanding, and getting your name out there, getting your business out there. I want to thank you, PRN Talk Radio 105.3 Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans, for allowing me to give you a couple hours a week, Sundays and Tuesday nights from 8:10 to 9:10 p.m. And let's see, oh, CL Thomas, her podcast tonight, and I'm going to destroy this guy's name. I'm going to call him Drac. Her guest tonight is Drac Stoker, who I believe, thanks to Heidi, we believe that he is the nephew of Bram Stoker. And also Nora Ventilla. And okay, you're coming up with all these Goldilocks and the Three Bears, Rapunzel. I don't know. You know, that's Kevin. Three Blind Mice is a dark one. I don't know about Rapunzel and Goldilocks and the Three Bears. I mean, I could go the X-rated. There's your three. Good. Maybe it's on there. No, I mean, think about it. Rapunzel had all that long hair and dudes trying to go up. I'm not even going to go there because that's a dirty mind. You know, I got to wash my brain out with Clorox bleach because it's getting into the dirty side, not the dark, but the dirty side of it. But so we're going to talk about, you know, I got four that are supposed to be dark. Okay. You're funny, Kevin. You are funny. But the first one that I got here was called London Bridge is Falling Down, My Fair Lady. And the meaning of London Bridge is Falling Down has long been a subject of debate. Many believe that it refers to the state of despair into which London Bridge fell after the Great Fire of London in 1666. But some experts argue quite convincingly that it refers to an alleged Viking invasion of 1014, during which London Bridge was pulled down. Though the attack has never been proven, a collection of Old Norse poems written in 1230 contains a verse that sounds much like the nursery rhyme, as London Bridge is broken down. Gold is won in the bright renown. So maybe. But you know what? Also, if I'm not mistaken, when you get to where London Bridge is burning down, that's a sign that there's something really crazy going over in England too. I thought I read that before. Forgot about the London Bridge. Good one. Love the backstory, Sean. Thank you, Brian. Kevin. But I do believe that now when London Bridge is falling down, then there is something going on where the Queen died or something like that. Because when the Queen died, that's all you heard was London Bridge is falling down. So who knows what it could be. So when it comes to this rhyme, I guess you can take it any way you want to. I prefer it to be the first one when the Great Fire in 1666 on the bridge. But that's the first one. Like I said, there wasn't too many other dark ones like we did the last time on Sunday. You know, Billy, it's funny. Oh, you caught that? I said I called you what, Kevin? I call you Brian. But the second one here that I found. Okay, here it is. We got to that one. Goosey Goosey Gander. This is crazy. Goosey Goosey Gander. Right? How could anything with the word goosey be sinister? Well, one version of the popular rhyme, Goosey Goosey Gander, had some very disturbing lines in it. And in my lady's chamber, there I met an old man who wouldn't say his prayers. So I took him by his left leg and threw him down the stairs. This reflects a time when Catholicism was outlawed. It was outlawed under Protestant rule, and the Catholic priest had to say their forbidden Latin prayers in secret. The old man refusing to say his prayers is likely a Catholic priest, refusing to recite Protestant prayers. Hiding priests in secret chamber was common, and the ladies' chamber might be a reference to one such hiding place. You love it. Dark humor, yeah. I don't know if that's humor or not. I think that's really, really, really dark. I think that's insane. Even back then, I mean, think of all the wars out there that were done by over religious beliefs. A lot of them. It's ridiculous. I don't know. But if it is true that the Catholic priests had to hide so they could do their prayers in Latin, that's pretty crazy. And it really, really looks at, I look at that, which I just read, and then look at where the Catholic Church, Christianity came in and took out all the paganisms out of Ireland, the Druids. Yes, that was the whole deal with St. Patrick and the snakes. Kevin says, tossed downstairs, held by one leg, could be a tad dark, lol, but I laughed at it. Where's your mind at today, Kevin? Where's your mind at today? That girl, take care of Kevin there. No, give him a couple slaps inside the head. But that's funny, but I can understand what you're talking about, Kevin. Oh, we're crazy. But that's got to show you where back, you know, in early Christianity, Protestants, and he fought over it. That's what happened in Ireland. You know, you got the Northern Ireland, and then you got the Southern Ireland, and they fought. People said that they fought over religion, but that's not the true story about it. When I was growing up, I was always taught that the South Irish people were Catholics and the Northerns were Protestants. And they said it was a religious battle, but it really wasn't a religious battle. What happened back then was that the king, you know, England, still had rule in Northern Ireland. I always do. I'm smacking though. Okay, but the king England had control over Northern Ireland, and they tried to get a hold of the Southern Ireland, and it just didn't happen. You know, the Southern Irish people, we fought, and yes, we did go into Northern Ireland, and it was sad. All the killings that were done, you know, it was terrible. But it wasn't due to religion. It was due because England had a control hold on Northern Ireland. Now today there isn't so much fighting anymore. There was a ceasefire that happened, and they still have the ceasefire. Ceasefire, yeah. No more fighting. But that's a long history. You know, I think it started in 68 or 69 or maybe before that. It's a sad history lesson for everybody. And it's sad for the Irish people too, you know. But I'm not going to tell you which side I was on. You know, I just kept that to myself. So I don't know why I said that. I don't know why it came out of my mouth. But I believe that whenever I open my mouth and whatever I talk about, whatever I say is supposed to come out. I didn't even think about, you know, talking about that. Hey, Mish, good to see you. Good day to you too. But as we were going on, then, you know, you got Rockabye Baby. This was a crazy one. Thank you, Miss. There's your long lost sister, Heidi. Those two religions have a lot of similarities as differences. I was Catholic, but my Protestant friend brought me to a rock, the phone from his church, and sang religious songs. I recall comparing. Kevin and I brought up Irish Catholic too, and it I can't get into it. It's for another show. And Heidi just found out about Rockabye Baby. Yeah. And I even looked that up. That's why I got it here. Rockabye Baby in the treetop. When the wind blows, the cradle will rock. When the bough breaks, the cradle will fall. And down will come baby, cradle and all. Even at face value, runs about a plummeting baby hardly comes across as upbeat. But some say that Rockabye Baby is really about King James II of England, 1633 to 1701, who in a bid to produce a Catholic heir and resist the wind blowing from Protestantism, supposedly smuggled another man's child into the birthing chamber. If he did, the plan didn't work. Like the cradle, the house of Stuart would soon fall. Crazy. Yeah, that was a disturbing one. Yes, Michelle, it was. Why the hell would you want to even say something like that? Who in their right mind would want to come up with something stupid or ridiculous? You know? Even back then, people were screwed up in the head. I was going to say the F word, but they were screwed up in the head. And what that dude did, I mean, come on, to go steal another child for a Catholic care? Come on. I mean, people were not in their right minds back then. They weren't. But, about the Humpty Dumpty one, okay? Where, like I said on Sunday, that Humpty Dumpty was never mentioned as an egg. Very odd as we chit-chatted about this topic. So many were dark and morbid. Yes. You're so right, Heidi. Yes, we did. It just, I don't know. Kevin says the past is the future and the future is the past. Okay, I won't cast. Okay. But with Humpty Dumpty, that blew me away because, and I will bring it up again. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall, but all the king's horses and all those king's men could not put Humpty Dumpty back together again. And you know what Humpty Dumpty was, everybody? These are for the people who missed last week's show. Humpty Dumpty was a big cannon, reflections of the time. Hey, Freighter. Holy crap. Good to see you, my friend. So there's a big old cabin, a cannon, up on a church wall or some type of wall. An egg, you said. It's not an egg. It was a cannon. And somehow that cannon fell. And they just couldn't fix it. That girl almost answered that. Okay. Oh my God, Lacey, good to see you. Hey, Charlie. How you doing, buddy? Oh my God, my dear friend Lacey McIntyre is in the chat room tonight. Glad you could pop in. But that was crazy. I mean, these were like really ridiculous ones, right? I'm glad you just popped in, Lace, because we were talking about dark nursery rhymes. So all the dark ones are done now. I got one more, but I think it'll be okay for Charlie to listen. So Miss says, nah. They said, yes, we're so glad to catch you. We're doing well. How are you? I'm doing fine. My brother Patrick went back into the hospital again. I can, talk to you tomorrow about it. But I'm doing okay. But here we go on the last one. All right, we're coming up on the last nursery rhyme that's kind of dark. Let me see. Ha ha. Okay, the 11th one is here we go round the mulberry bush. Well, before I explain this, what does everybody think about this nursery rhyme? Here we go around mulberry bush. What does that mean to you guys? I would like to have an answer. You can, if you want. Story on Rapunzel. I'll look at that. What's the story? What do you think about? Okay, she's giving him this. Well, here we go around the mulberry bush. The mulberry bush is actually about Wakefield Prison in West Yorkshire. It commemorates the walks on the prison yard that the female prisoners and their children would take every day. So those are about the darkest that I could find from far from what I talked about on Sunday. So in respect, or not respect, but my whole thing about these, oh well, I ain't doing good. All these nursery rhymes that we've talked about on Sunday and today. My feeling is, they were sick and insane, and they never should have taught us when we were young. That's my feeling. It's really crazy knowing that what we did growing up and doing these nursery rhymes, but the true meaning behind them. That girl, originating from a Brothers Grimm fairy tale, involves a pregnant woman craving a magical herb from a witch's garden, leading her husband to steal it. In exchange, they promise their but they were dark. Everything was dark back then. So, is there anybody in your chat room that would like to talk about how they feel about the nursery rhymes that we talked about the last couple times? Anybody? Is there anything on the little old woman who lived in the shoe? There was. I think I read about it. I'll look it up if you guys don't mind. I got a couple more minutes. The woman. No, not really. Let me see. Okay. The dark side of the old woman in the shoe from the classic nursery rhyme refers to interpretations that go beyond the simple children's story, exploring themes of poverty, maternal neglect, giving broth without bread, whipping, or even darker folklore where she is a predatory entity, a land goddess, Mother Nature, or a haunting presence draining life. As seen in the modern horror stories and the psychological analysis and archetype of Death Mother, revealing a chilling undercurrent to the familiar rhyme. Ooh. The common interpretations is poverty and overwhelm. The original rhyme hints as hardship, no bread, and harsh discipline, with them all soundly, reflecting socialite struggles with large families. The archetypal horror, some see her as a manifestation of the death mother, a nurturing figure who also embodies deprivation, control, and potential destruction, a theme explored in analysis of the rhyme. In the folklore and supernatural, the Irish folklore, some link the shoe brought to fairy house, suggesting a connection to fairies or nature spirits. I can I can deal with that. But no matter how you put it, let me see what we got here. And isn't it weird that there's such a large show for all of them to live in? I always thought the shoe was a symbolism for something else. Um, that's yeah. Ah, you're welcome, Mish. Anytime. Thank you, Kevin. Lacey says, "Oh wow, that's interesting. I've never heard that before." Lacey, I'm telling you what, you should just like if you ain't doing nothing, Google dark nursery rhymes will blow you away. Just make sure Charlie ain't in the room. Okay, seriously. Um, Joni says, "I think when we were young, we never really thought about rhymes, and now thinking about it, they are very creepy." Yes, they are, dear. Yes, they are, Joni. Very creepy. Am I doing an extra hour tonight? No, Joe, not at all. You have CL coming on next after mine, and she's going to have Drac, Stoker, and Nora Ventilla. I'm glad it piqued your interest. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Wait till she's in bed. No, Joe. No, CL's coming on at 9:15 tonight. And she has two good guests. Bram Stoker. I think this guy, Dark. I call him Drac Stoker. His the nephew of Bram Stoker. Don't worry about being late, buddy. It's all right. Not a problem. Kevin says, yeah, it had to all play it on our subconsciousness. Yes. Well, we are getting close to the end of the day, the end of the show. It's called The Witching Hour. And I truly appreciate everybody coming in. Day Kerr. Okay, thank you, that girl. Oh, shit, that's spam. Sorry, guys. But I'm glad everybody could stop in and, check out the show tonight. And I'm looking forward to doing other types of things in January and February, all through this whole year. So if anybody has any suggestions on what they would like to have, we can discuss them about, please send me a message, and we can do something on it. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Joni. That I got chills for that. Thank you. Thank you. And don't forget, everybody, like I talked about at the beginning of the show, don't be a bunch of knuckleheads and threaten people because they missed a field goal. Thank you. Gratitude to you, my dearest, bestest friend, Heidi. Don't be knuckleheads and threaten the kicker because he missed a field goal. And if you actually watch that video, the way that football took off to the right, I have no doubt in my mind that was an angel moving that ball, like throwing that ball away. So, children, if you can. Oh no, I got a couple more minutes. We're on the 50-minute mark. But I'm just grateful for every one of y'all out there who listen to my show. I'm very grateful for all the people who come to my show and share in the chat. I'm just grateful for everything. And I'm just like getting speechless here. So if you want to be part of the show, come on my show. We can talk, whatever you want to talk about. Okay. And if you want to advertise on my show, feel free. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. That means a lot. If you want to advertise on my show, feel free. Give me a message and we can talk. But it is time to go. And again, thank you, everybody, for stopping in tonight. And I'll see you Sunday. Children, if you can, please go to your parents, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. And parents, please go to your children, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. And if you have no parents, and if you have no children, find somebody, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. Because those 3 words, I love you, go a long way. And on that note, have a good night, happy hunting, and see you next Sunday.